up, everybody? This is Presto
CorporalNosaj.
and you are listening to episode 104 of the Nintendads podcast, the final preview for Monster Hunter Wilds.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, 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 bum. We are a mere week away, the longest week of my entire adult life, probably. We are one more week. We're streaming and recording this on 2/20. The game technically comes out on 2/28, but it's probably going to release the night of. We don't have release times yet, actually,
No.
which I feel like usually we do by now. They'll probably post it tomorrow and make a liar out of me.
I wonder if they're going to do what they did with the beta and it be like come out Thursday night.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying because it's Thursday night now. Usually it's like on the 28th, like Universal time. So it'll be 10 o'clock our time, maybe 7 o'clock if we're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I wish I was getting it on console so I could try and get it early. But I would.
What's good, Nintendads? Welcome in, Fate Maker. I will make sure to send my in-game ID when servers go live on Thursday night. Yes.
Yes. So depending on what time the game goes live, because if it releases at 7 o'clock, I'm gonna stream it for sure. If it releases at 10 o'clock, I'll definitely play it. Probably won't stream it. Friday night. Well, we'll get to that. We're gonna get to our launch plans in a moment here, but first we have to answer the age-old question. Corporal, what have you been playing? Or maybe I should say what I've been playing while you finish your snarf bar.
What have I been playing? I
What
played
have you-
Minecraft the other day just for giggles.
Sure.
Oh, I have been playing Subnautica.
I've always wanted to play Subnautica, but I've never.
I don't know if it's worth it.
Really?
I
What? That's a hot take. You are starting this episode off with controversy. What is happening?
I am. I'm swinging. So, first off, Subnautica, like most games in its genre, does very little to tell you what you need to do to survive. All about you, like Minecraft, all about you fumbling around and figuring things out, right? There is no guide, right?
Here, water.
Yep.
Don't get eaten.
You have to, like, there are things that are happening in the world around you that are clearly set on either okay, you've found this many material, that will trigger this event over here. Or there are things that are very clearly on a clock the moment the game starts. And if you done fucked up a couple times, you don't have the right material, guess what? That clock started anyway. And
Yeah.
you're no longer going to have access to certain things because you've made the mistake of not being prepared, which makes you have to have multiple playthroughs once you realize your mistakes, I think.
That sounds.
It is a great game. It is beautiful. I just wish I knew what the hell I was doing.
You just go to youtube.com,
Eh,
type in 5 things I wish I knew before I played Subnautica, and there you go.
I
There
mean,
you go.
yeah, but like you and I grew up in a generation where games didn't have YouTube channels. YouTube
Yeah,
wasn't
but
even existing.
the games that we grew up with had good level design that taught you through play. Versus they're like now games come out and they're just like, "Oh, we're not going to hold your hand. Good luck."
Yeah.
But it's like, but if you're not going to hold my hand, you at least have to give me like a stick to feel my way around. And they're like, "What? Sorry, we're counting our money."
Fate Makers over here taking my hot take personally. Subnautica is amazing. You got to search high and low define schematics and build stuff. Subnautica 3 will be multiplayer and cross-platform. I have heard that, and I'm excited about Subnautica 3.
When's Subnautica 3 coming out? That needs to be on my radar.
I finished
Or my
Subnautica without
sonar?
YouTubing anything. You got to use your journal to find what you're missing. And I have just recently discovered my journal. But that's a lot of damn reading, son. Like,
Well,
God. Oh, you found this? That. You found this? Now learn that. Did you scan this mineral? Did you scan that grass? Did you scan this fish? Well, you can now do this. Like,
you Zoomers
whoa.
never want to read.
No, I don't. I hate reading. I do not want to read in a game. I want the game to tell me things. If I wanted to read, I would open up a termite manual and start reading that. I don't need to start reading in game. Like, come on. I'm not trying to work here. Games for me are supposed to be fun and enjoyable, and my brain is supposed to turn off, not have to be educated on the like I loved me some Mass Effect, but the deepest lore that is available to you in Mass Effect, if you were to read the journal entries, is ridiculously insane. Like, you
For
don't.
a story guy,
Oh my. I know,
you're not
but I want
okay.
this story. I want the story to be like breathed into me. I don't want to have to dig through text
You
to
want to be
find it.
shown, not
Yeah,
told.
yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I have been playing an unhealthy amount of the Monster Hunter Wilds beta when it was live. Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise attempting to fill the void that the beta has left in my soul. Both are really hard to go back to, especially World. Trying to play some weapons in World feels like I have glue on the bottom of my shoes. Uh weird throwback. My son was recently going through the games on our Switch and he's like, "What games am I allowed to play?" And I'm like, "Yes, no, definitely no, absolutely not, yes." And one of the yeses was Animal Crossing. And I've shown him Animal Crossing before when he was a little bit younger. He's 7 now. And he kind of looked and he saw the amount of words on the screen, reminds me of somebody that I know, and was like, "I'm not doing all this thing." But mostly because he couldn't read versus he didn't want to read. But now he's a fairly like he can read fairly easily and he is obsessed with Animal Crossing. And I didn't realize this, but when you start playing Animal Crossing on a new profile, so like when you start the game, it asks what profile you want to play under. If you select a new profile or a profile that hasn't played the game before, it will drop you as a new player onto the other player's island who has already started a game on your system. And you'll still have to go through and unlock things, but you're on the same island. All the progress that the first person has made is now on the island, and the residents of the island will go and talk to the new player about the old player. So all
Oh,
of the villagers are going to my son being like, "Hey, nice to meet you. I hear that you know Presto. He introduced me on such and such. He's a really great guy. You guys should hang." And I'm like, "What? This is like breaking the fourth wall. I had
yeah.
no idea
That's
that that
cool.
was a thing." So now me and my son have a shared island and I can do things while he's at school and he can play while I'm at work. And it's like this weird collaborative thing. And I had no idea that that was how it worked. So shout out Animal Crossing like 5 years later.
Yeah. State Maker says I'm up to 119 hours and ordering way like get way better. Actually has
I've heard good
dodging and
things.
carrying.
I
One
really
zero Canada.
liked
Canada versus US hockey right now. Listen, I heard
1-0 Canada. Yo, I hope you know what? We shouldn't talk about this. We shouldn't talk about this. I'm gonna
that most recent hockey game where we decided to beat you guys on the ice just because we were angry about saying the national anthem was booed was grotesque. That's all I'm gonna say.
I am I am gonna bite my tongue off if I bite my tongue any harder. I can't say, Fate, I'll get with you after the stream.
Last game started with 3 fights in 9 seconds. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyway, what are you drinking, Corporal? We're
Uh,
gonna get to Monster Hunter Wilds.
yeah, lots of water. Lots and lots of pure, filtered,
Swamp water.
clean water.
I've been drinking elderberry syrup and
Elderberry syrup and what?
milk. So there.
Like mixed? Or
Yeah.
like a glass of milk and then also
No,
elderberry syrup?
together and usually with coffee too.
Oh,
So
interesting.
elderberry syrup, my wife has started making batches and batches of elderberry syrup and sharing it with people in our town because elderberry. Hey, Carol, welcome in. Welcome in. Thanks for liking the stream
Welcome
on
in.
Facebook. Uh Elderberry syrup is this amazing like immune booster. So it really boosts your immune system. It helps you like fight off sicknesses and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's delicious because you make it with elderberry, and then we use a little local honey to make it like a syrup. And if you put it in milk, it tastes exactly like chai tea. I don't know why, but it does.
Okay.
And if you mix coffee into the elderberry syrup milk, it
Like
tastes
immune
like a
booster,
chai
so
tea
it really
latte.
boosts.
And it is super delicious. It's amazing. I love it. So go get you some.
We'll get you some.
Before we jump into wilds, there is one little eeny beeny squeakling of news. There is going to be a Pokemon Presents. Oh, Jason, thank you for liking the stream. What a great thing. Um, Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day, which is a week from today, so February 27th. We're gonna get some Pokemon Day news.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping we get news on the next mainline Pokemon game, which is supposedly leaked, is supposedly going to be for the Switch 2, is supposedly going to be the Pokemon MMO that everyone has been waiting for. I haven't gotten too deep into the leaks, but the rumor has it that it's going to be juicy. So we can look forward to that. I would say we'll do an episode right after, but that's the day before Monster Hunter comes out. So I am making zero promises
I
about.
will ask you a Pokemon side quest now in anticipation for this.
Yeah.
What do you want to see from this Pokemon release?
A mainline Pokemon game that looks like it was made in a competent modern way, because the last couple Pokemon games that have come out are embarrassing the franchise.
I
Boom.
enjoy that's a hot take. I enjoyed Sword and Shield significantly better than I thought I was going to. But I don't know if I enjoyed what was it?
Scarlet and Violet.
Scarlet and Violet.
Scarlet and Violet were okay, but I went back to it like a month or two ago, and holy shit, that game is rough looking and the performance is rough. And it just, I mean, if you put any Pokemon game that has come out in the last 10 years next to Pal World, it looks like every Pokemon game was made 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. They need to make it. It needs to look good. It needs to run well, which if it's coming out for the Switch 2, there's really no excuses. And it needs to have some interesting stuff.
I
And if
liked
you
the
make it,
open world mechanic that was available in the last game. That was
I liked it.
interesting.
Yeah. That was cool. That was a plus. It got refined a little bit, but it needs to run smoothly
Yeah.
and it needs to have some interesting
The story wasn't
ideas.
as great as Sword and Shield was.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree. Sword and Shield was it was good.
Yeah.
I sold it though after I beat it.
I mean, that sounds like.
Anyway, onwards
I mean,
into the
since
wild.
we were talking about hunting down monsters and fighting them, what
Do you
Have to
beat them?
stay
Do you make them into a coat? Or do you keep them and force them to fight against their will?
in
So
labor
many
camps.
so many humanitarian options here. Also, before we get any further, if you, like us, if you are excited about Monster Hunter Wilds and you happen to be getting it on PC, I know that's a dicey proposal given the pretty steep requirements to run it smoothly on PC. We encourage you to pre-order or purchase it through our Nexus at nexus.gg/Nintendads. Because we get a little slice, we get a little cheese. Um, and we would appreciate it. It's the same. You get a Steam key. It's the same price, but it's a way of sort of indirectly supporting the podcast and many, many, many more streams of Monster Hunter.
Fatemaker is
So
still over here in
check it out.
chat talking about Canada versus the US hockey game, and he said all Canada has to do is turn to stop the incoming invasion of the US is to turn on the maple syrup taps and let diabetes just run its course. Shots fired.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Rusty, welcome in. Welcome in. Rusty, you just came in at the wrong time because we have wrapped up our intro banter and we are now going to get into the wilds. First, before we get into the predictions and all the fun stuff about the main game, let's talk about the last beta, the final beta. We got Gypsaros and we got Arkveld. So, Corporal, did you have a chance to do both of these hunts or did you just do Gypsaros? Gypsaros was
You're
the
is
flashy guy.
anyone having rendering issues with the benchmark test? The gnarly tree hugger. Gnarly, we will touch on that in a minute. You act, Presto, as if I know the names of the monsters.
I know. I know.
You
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 barely
you
know.
should
You
if
know
you
Bishatin.
Bishatin is a god among
Hold
mortals.
on, wait, who's this? Who's this? Who's that Pokemon?
Magdamalo?
Yeah, see? So,
Okay,
you know things. You
okay,
know things.
okay. You're better off saying the frog one with the big tongue or the hairy one that tries to bite you with his two friends.
No, the one that you, me, and Nick Yeti faced, and both of you guys got flashed multiple times, and I'm playing Gunlance sitting behind my shield saying, I'm sure glad I play a weapon with a shield.
You're
Don't worry, I'll save you guys.
you're
So I know
talking
you
about
wanted Gypsaros.
you talking about the one with the expandable tail.
Yes, that is his tail? I thought that was something else. It
I
was his tail?
sure. Yes.
He Gypsaros, you know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna make that joke.
Hey Martin,
Hey
how's it
Marty,
going?
what's up? Welcome in. Yeah, so you did Gypsaros. Gypsaros is the Flash guy, and he plays dead. He plays dead.
He does play
I
dead.
like
I
that. I
remember.
like that because it's just I like that mechanic. I like the unexpected things after hundreds and hundreds and thousands of hours of playing Monster Hunter. I like when I'm surprised by something. And I did not fight him in GU, whatever game he was in last.
Yeah.
Maybe for you. So I didn't know he was gonna do that. So that was a fun surprise. It was fun telling you to carve him as quickly as possible. And you were
And
like,
then
no, I don't no, I don't
this
trust
is
you
a
guys.
trap. Yeah. So I mean, we're getting a couple comments on both Twitch and Facebook talking about how the benchmark and the beta rendered and the graphics of the gameplay. So let's just touch on that real quick since we're starting off our Monster Hunter spiel. How
Yes.
did the game run for you?
So, first of all, the PSA for this is the beta did not change from the first beta. The first beta that happened a couple of months ago or a month ago, and the most recent 2 weekend betas, the only thing that was added was Gypsaros and Arkveld. So there was no additional optimization, there was no more weapon balancing, there was no improvement
Mhm.
on from a performance standpoint. They did release the benchmark. The benchmark is supposed to give you an idea of how your PC will perform with the final game. The beta ran pretty good on my PC. My PC's like 5 years old at this point. I forget which graphics card I have. Um, but mine is like basically I'm just one card up from the minimum required specs. So it didn't look super great. Granted, when I was playing, a lot of the time I was streaming. Um, the game ran on my laptop, which surprised me because I thought there was no shot. The beta ran on my laptop, which means I'm probably going to be able to play the full game in some regard.
Yeah.
Um, I think performance is going to be an issue because when World came out on PC, performance was an issue. I was not playing Monster Hunter at that point, but anybody who played World on release knows that playing World now and playing World on release, they were pretty different. So I think there's going to be some performance issues. I'm cautiously optimistic because when they did, I forget what event it was, they said, okay, Monster, I think it was in December. They're like, Monster Hunter Wilds is done. The story, the mechanics, everything is done, and we are spending every hour from now until release on optimization, and that's it.
And when they made that comment, I didn't realize it at the time, but it wasn't until the release or the beta came out that it kind of triggered for me. And I think that comment and the reason for all of that is because what Rusty, Martin, and Gnarly Treehugger are realizing is this game takes a lot. And
Yeah.
even basic modern PCs aren't able to do it at its performance peak. And they realized that, which was why they then had to go back through the game and do all sorts of optimizations because they needed to make this game more widely acceptable to a larger base of gamers, particularly PC gamers who have older generation graphics. Now, I have a graphics card in my system that is the bottom benchmark, but it's the difference between the GTX and the RTX. I have the GTX, and we all got to see how my polygons looked like PS1 graphics versus what you were able to see. I did a
Yeah.
side by side test of my game running next to my Xbox X running the game. And while I am still, Brian Bestman, welcome in. While I am still able to play the game in its current settings, the granulation of the graphics was so high on the PC that it looked very sandy. The shading and the shadows were so bad that some things that were in the distance just looked like blocks, but when you get closer to them, they were actual like a tent, right? And
Yeah.
on top of it, the coloring was so off. Things that looked like they were just different shades of green when I got closer were actually like red and brown. So, yeah, I had a lot of issues. Now, some of that I was able to uh, rectify with increased RAM in my hardware. So I bought extra RAM and put that in, and that definitely helped. And I am able to run the game significantly better on PC, but my graphics are still subpar compared to what the Xbox One X is able to run it at. And the game and the developers did a great job at creating this game, perfecting it for the PS5 and the Xbox One X, that it runs really well on those consoles from what I have been able to see. And a couple people in the Facebook chat are saying how like they're gonna have to get it on PS5 because the cost of a new
Yeah.
graphics card is insane.
And I think, yeah, Rusty was saying that he's sad that a lot of people he's not going to be able to play with, not because they can't afford the game, but they can't afford
The
hardware to run it.
upgrades. Yeah.
And I think honestly, I think PS5 Pro, I I balked at the PS5 Pro when it was announced because I'm like, so marginally better performance for like a lot more money and no disk drive? That's shenanigans. Um but honestly, if I had a PS5 Pro, I would be getting it for the PS5 Pro.
I mean,
Um
so Fate Maker brings up a point. Graphics cards cost more than a PS5. The graphics card that I need for my console right now is $420. So that kind of
yeah,
gives you
you
a
can get
benchmark of a
PS5 for
price
less than
point.
that.
Yeah. So,
And I
yes.
think I think the problem with the graphics card is there's like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin mining and stuff have just made the graphics card price and market a roller coaster. I think if you live in the United States right now, inflation is like just insane. And we're doing tariffs now and all this nonsense. So I think the general state of the economy and where people have discretionary income is in a very, I'll say, strained place. So I think having hardware that's more expensive than it usually is, people having less discretionary money than they normally would, is making it so that graphics cards are very expensive and hard to come by. I mean, you were looking at a graphics card and you said within the last couple of weeks, it's
Oh,
gone
yeah.
up like
When
$100.
I first looked at this,
So
it was 360 and now it's 420. Linux 53 over on Twitch is talking about how the one big thing the benchmark is showing is the CPU is bottlenecking a lot of areas more so than GPU. I I
yeah,
think that is a reflection of how much they have done optimization on this game in order to make it available, because a lot of people are having a hard time with graphics cards, but I think you're right. The high-end graphics card that is now the low-end need for this game came out around the time where CPUs were at its peak, and those are now so far outdated
they're like
compared to what's
they're a
available.
full generation behind
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, hopefully the optimization is gonna be there to a tolerable degree. Hopefully, they will make some quick patches. The modding community on PC is great. I know that when World came out, there were modders that were, modders that you basically needed to have a mod to run the game, smoothly when it first came out. So, fingers crossed. Hopefully, the benchmark is an accurate portrayal of oh yeah, Monster Hunter. I forget the name of it. The open world survival one on mobile. That I might check that out. Uh, but moving on. Hopefully, performance is good. Gypsaros was fun. Did you have a chance to fight Arkfeld in the demo?
Yet again, names.
You have a 20-minute timer and he kills you in like one hit.
What
He's
did
got
he
big
look like?
chains.
No.
He
I
sounded like a boat,
I found him and I did not go near him.
and you walked the other
Yep.
way. He sounded like this is his cry. He sounded like a truck, and he hit like 2 trucks. I loved Arkfeld. He's a tough fight. He is the flagship. He is on the cover of the game, and damn it, he earned it. He's got big ass chains. Um, he kicked the shit out of me in the first weekend, and I kicked the shit out of him on the second weekend. Gamma, welcome in. Thank you for liking the stream. Uh yeah, I got a couple clears on Arkveld. He has some big attacks that gave me a lot of practice for perfect parrying, and it gave me a whole new level of excitement and anticipation because they built a lot of these fights around monster winds up and goes to punch you. And if you can split second dodge out of the way or you can perfect parry, you have a perfect opportunity to hit them with a temporary weak spot to get a stagger. And once I figured out the timing on the perfect parry for gun lance and heavy bowgun, the fight was so much it felt so much more fair. It felt That's when I started getting clears on that enemy. But the timer is the real enemy. I don't like the 20-minute timer. 90% of the time that I failed the hunt, it was because we ran out of time versus that we got carded so many times. So I don't like the timer, but I love the fight. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play the full version. I'm so bummed. This will be my first Monster Hunter game I can't play. My PC's old. Steam Deck OLED. Oh yeah, Steam Deck is cooked. There's no way it's running on Steam Deck. Brian, that sucks. Is there any way you can sell like one of your kidneys and get a PS5? Because PS5s were selling for like 350. That was like the pretty consistent low price that I was seeing around the holidays and just after on the TikTok shop a lot, weirdly. PS5s for 250 or 350. Get a refurb PS5 and join us, Brian.
Uh, Gnarly Tree, I don't know if you are in our Discord. See if I can find the Discord link to drop in chat. But if you want to talk more about your hardware, definitely hit me up on there. I'd be more than happy to kind of run through some things. If you're having problems with the assets still loading, it could also be your virtual memory on the card, whether it's got 5 GB of virtual memory, or it could be your RAM. That was my problem, was my RAM. So let me know if you're able to get into Discord. We can
I
talk
can
through it.
post the Discord link. I think our exclamation point Discord uh our exclamation point Discord command in Twitch is broken. We should
Oh,
fix that before.
yeah, we should fix that because it was working at
Here,
some point.
there we go. I just posted the Discord link in chat. Um, bring up
Oh,
the
you
Facebook
did the
chat.
same thing I did on Facebook. It works on Facebook. That's why I went to
Yeah, it
Facebook.
works on Facebook, but it's on Twitch.
Thank you.
Anyway, so moving right along, we got the final uh launch trailer, which showed us uh the apex predator for the new hey Rusty, welcome to the server. It showed us the new apex predator monster for the new level, and I'm not gonna talk about that here because I don't have it in front of me. I don't want to mispronounce it, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who doesn't want it spoiled, but it looks pretty epic.
Okay.
um and we are getting a title update in the spring with a returning monster, uh, which I also don't know if I should say. But we're getting a new monster and in the spring, and there's going to be another title update in the summer. So it looks like they are going at the pace for free title updates that they did with Rise, in where they have one every season. And these
Which
look
the Rise update schedule was pretty good.
Yeah, it was, especially towards the end, like, we got some really big ones.
Hmm.
What I want, and they've also said in that final trailer that there's gonna be or maybe this was in, like, the direct, like, live stream with the news. There is gonna be limited time event quests available at launch, and that brought me back to when Rise came out and we would do our Friday night streams. We would drink way too much on stream and we would try to beat whatever that week's event quest was.
Yep.
You remember this?
Yeah.
Every week there would be a new event quest and they started like silly and fun and then they got disgustingly hard. And I really hope that we get weekly event quests for Wilds. I don't know if we will because it's a different kind of game than Rise, but the fact, I mean, I'm not a super fan of they're saying time limited, meaning like they're going to be around launch and then they're going to go away. I hope that they lean more towards we're going to get a new event quest every. Yeah, Rusty, I hear you. I hear you. The dream is that the Switch 2 comes out and then they release Wilds on the Switch 2, right?
I
That
mean,
is
for a Nintendad, that would be the dream, right?
yes.
And
For yeah.
and given the conversation we've just recently had about graphics and RAM and cards and hardware and consoles, if the Switch 2 is able to run Wilds, that in itself will speak volumes for what the Switch 2 will be capable of in this next generation of gaming for Nintendo fans. So I'm
Yes.
excited about
Wait,
that.
did you hear the guy, did you hear the guy that fell into an upholstery machine? It's fine, he's fully recovered now. Brian Vestman, everybody, Brian Vestman, the
The
the the
dad
joke
joke of the
the
night.
Joker,
Thank you very
the
much,
dad
Brian.
stand-up comedian.
That's funny.
Um, Pop quiz, what was your favorite fight from the beta? Even if you can't remember the name.
I can't remember the name, but I got really good at the bear one, the hairy bear one.
Doshiguma.
Doshiguma, thank you. I got really good at Doshiguma to the point that I would challenge myself by trying to take on the multiple Doshigumas at once.
Oh, without hitting him with the poop
Yes,
bomb?
without dispersing them. I would
Ah,
actually get really good because sometimes they run in packs of three, and I would disperse one of them, and then I would take on two at a time. And I felt like
you
that
would.
that is a challenge. That is a good
What weapon
challenge.
were you using to take them on? Bowgun?
Bowgun, and longsword.
Okay, I could see
I
that.
should have switched to hunting horn, and try to get some of that bubble and heals going on, but I didn't. I
Yeah,
it was
well, there was no healing melody for the hunting horn.
That's right. I
There
forgot
was
about
a
that. You're
attack
right.
up and there was all fun stuff, but there was no heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew to love the Raydao fight. That was the
Okay.
big
Yeah.
lightning dragon guy.
I
That
thought
he
that was my
became
first time fighting him with you guys, and I'll be honest with you, I thought that was a good fight.
it's so fun. It's a little intimidating at first because
Yeah.
he's got the big, you know, be gone tourist zap, and but once you kinda learn his move set, he was my, like, go-to sparring partner. I fought him more times than any other monster in the beta, and he had the wing drag attack,
Mhm.
which you could see coming from a very like, you could see it coming from a while away, and that was perfect for practicing offsets. Yeah, Rusty, he's a longsword user, but he enjoyed great sword for the offset attack.
Yeah.
Yes. Marianne, welcome. Thank you
Yeah.
for liking the stream.
I started
Uh,
with the great sword, and my only hesitation with that is so slow. I need to be more agile, which is why I tend to be a bowgun user to begin with.
yeah, light bowgun was fun.
Yeah.
I really like we'll get to the weapons.
I
You know
Okay.
what? Let's just skip to weapons. What weapons are you gonna play? What are you gonna be your two go-to
I am going to
weapons that you're packing?
I'm by default I am a hunting horn player. So I want to see hunting horn. But by default, I my gaming style on most games is either I am the tank or I am the healer. So I want to see what my heals are going to be as a hunting horn. And if I'm not, then I am going to play the wizard and stay in the back with my light bowgun, and I will just provide damage at a distance. This way, I don't have to die because that's that's just how it's going to have to be. But I enjoyed heavy bowgun and great sword in world, so I'm interested to see how that translates over to wilds.
So, heavy bowgun, they gave heavy bowgun a greater range, so you really can hang back.
Mhm.
And for the most part, because I played some light bowgun in World and a ton of it in Rise, light bowgun is more like a medium range thing now, but they have they had in the beta, they had recovery ammo, which you can
Yes.
heal your teammates and yourself. So you could run, I mean, heavy bowgun might have healing ammo too. We're gonna have to wait and see. But
My biggest
yeah,
fear with being a bowgun user is going to be weapon management or ammo management.
yes.
Although Marty, long sword and light bowgun, Rusty, you say yeah, there it is. Long sword. I'm really liking the long sword. So
Longsword is pretty swaggy in this game.
yeah.
So you're gonna go maybe light bowgun or maybe heavy bowgun and longsword? Or maybe
Or
hunting horn?
hunting horn. I
See,
it's gonna
I
be a bow gun and either hunting horn or sword. And I'll be honest with you, in PvP style like MMO games, I tend to be the tank, and in my shooting in first person shooter games, I tend to be very tanky. I don't,
that's heavy.
in my experience, I don't do well being tanky in wilds. I get beat up too fast. I don't recognize the movement of the monster and when the attack is going to happen fast enough for me to shield up or to roll away. So I tend to get hit. So I think I'm going to be more of a back person.
Okay. Okay. I obviously, if you've ever heard me talk about Monster Hunter weapons, I'm a Gunlance guy all the way,
Yeah,
and Gunlance got absolutely glowed up. It's viewed as like a top tier weapon in Wilds, which
which means
nope,
it's gonna get
Gunlance is
nerfed.
never
It's gonna get
gun. No,
nerfed.
shut up, shut up. Everything else is gonna get buffed. No,
Sure,
Gunlance
sure.
is my one true love. So Gunlance is gonna be in there. And the more I played the beta, the first beta, I was super into hunting horn. This most recent beta, I sort of fell out of love with the hunting horn. It's still on the table, it's still in the conversation. We'll see what kind of melodies we get. That's fine. But I found such a lovely rhythm playing Gunlance and Heavy Bowgun, and I'll tell you why. So, the big thing with Heavy Bowgun is you have the, like, rapid fire mode that recharges when you're shooting and also recharges by itself. So, what I would do towards the end of the beta, especially when I was trying to get those clears on Arkveld, because I was actually trying to play efficiently, I would start with the heavy bowgun, do the rapid fire burst. It does a shitload of damage. And then I would do some like, sticky things until I ran out of ammo with that. And then I would switch to Gunlance. And then I would use Gunlance. And usually, when the monster was enraged, if I needed to like hang back and heal, I would switch to heavy bowgun. The meter would be most of the way, if not all the way, refilled, and then I would unload again, and then I would switch back to Gunlance. Or if the monster moved, then I would switch to heavy bowgun and shoot. I think I think it's gonna be Gunlance and heavy bowgun. I
Okay.
really think that is what it's gonna be for me. Um, it just was such a fun balance. And the other thing is, if I'm playing heavy bowgun and I'm using sticky ammo, there's a natural synergy with armor skills because if I'm getting like bombardier and buffing explosions,
Yeah.
it's gonna be advantageous to use two weapons that go boom. The
Okay. I mean,
other
light bowgun's grenade goes.
Yeah, I also love light bowgun. Light bowgun is also in the conversation. Light bowgun is a better way to deal with really quick moving monsters. Because Gunlance, as good as it is, it's still pretty slow. Heavy bowgun, as good as it is, it's still pretty slow. The 2 weapons that are my go-to weapons in Wilds against faster enemies that I had trouble keeping track with, like, for some reason, I was having a lot of trouble with Balahara. Light bowgun, which is it's gonna really depend on the builds and the ammo management. Because if ammo management is a huge pain in the ass, but you can use, like, normal ammo or pierce ammo that you have infinite of, then that's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
So light bowgun is a close second to heavy bowgun, and hammer.
Oh,
Hammer is so once I got a feel for, like, the new move set, hammer was so fast and fluid, and I could dish out so much more damage than almost any other weapon because I was able to maneuver just out of the way. So I think my heavy hitters are gonna be gun lance and heavy bowgun, and I'm gonna play with those for as long as I can continue to meet the challenges of the game. And if I meet some challenges that are gonna require me to be a lot more mobile, one of those will probably get switched out for light bowgun and hammer. I mean,
okay.
maybe that's my 2 sets. Maybe I have light bowgun hammer for fast hunts and gun lance heavy bowgun for everything else.
Can I just talk very quickly about the fact that we are having an in-depth, very personalized conversation about the fact that we are rolling with two different weapons mid-fight. That mechanic is phenomenal for this game.
Yes. It really is. Rusty brings a good complimentary point to that. What is your thought about the map? Wait, what does this say?
About the map that
What
is
is your thought about the map? This map, the deserted, sad-looking map. I
oh,
love the map from the beta. The
so
Windward Plains. Also, what is it about Monster Hunter that it does to our brain that no other game lets you feel the same way?
Rusty, that is something that you and Presto have very much in common. Monster Hunter, unfortunately, does
Right.
not tug on my heartstrings the way it does Presto. And I've been gaming with Presto for a long, we've known each other since middle school.
I don't know
And
why.
I have never in my life seen him be so addicted to a game series. I like he's more addicted to Monster Hunter than I am to, let's say, Halo. So I don't
I
understand
have
it.
2 points that I need to make. Number 1, you have seen me like this with the Smash series. The only other series in my life
Dave
that
the
I have been
Diver.
as as into was Super Smash Brothers. I used to play
Oh
Super
yeah,
Smash Brothers
yeah,
Melee like crazy. I had a launch party for Ultimate. I
yeah.
competed in Smash 4. We won't talk about that. But I was super into Smash, and then Nintendo completely dropped the ball with Ultimate, with the design and the online play, and the Melee community. I'm not even gonna say on stream the issues that they've had over the years, but I have, like, officially exited the Smash community, even though there are some very lovely people that I still keep in touch with. Um, but Monster Hunter, my first Monster Hunter was the Rise demo, and I think the reason that I enjoy Monster Hunter the way that I do with such passion is because it just has that flow to it, and it's
Hmm.
got charm and personality and design and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's it's the core mechanics and the fact that the 14 weapons the thing that's kept me into Monster Hunter is there's 14 weapons, and if you've completely mastered one weapon, you go to playing another weapon, and a baseline of those skills carry over, but then it's like starting a totally new character practically, learning the weapons and learning the ins and outs and figuring out what you need to do. Which segues to why I think, Corporal, it does not scratch your brain in the same way, because this is how I got into Monster Hunter Rise, right? I was getting into it, I was figuring it out, I liked it, I really liked it, and then I kind of plateaued for a while, and then I learned to play Gunlance. And when I learned how to play Gunlance, something clicked and it felt really, really natural to me to play Gunlance. And I learned the move set in a way where I didn't have to really think about what the moves were. I knew the moves enough that I could just do them. And then I wasn't learning and figuring things out. I was just playing and improving. And that's when I went from liking Monster Hunter to fucking loving Monster Hunter. And I think with this game, I predict that you are going to reach a point of knowledge and efficiency because, like you said in the beginning of the stream, at the end of the day, you work crazy hours. You have an insane schedule that I am very humbly bowing down towards. But you just want to turn off your brain and play. And if
Yep.
you can get to the point where you can play Monster Hunter and you're familiar enough with it where you can turn off your brain and play, I think you will be
And that's fair.
a part of
And that's
the
honestly
cult.
that's honestly one of the reasons why I am choosing to get the game on console versus the computer, so that I'm not in my closet and I can actually be on the couch or on the bed next to my wife and hang out and relax at the end of the day and be able to grind out some time while she's reading a book or something. So
Yes.
I'm hoping that that sort of timeline, picks in for me. Um, I had a thought, and it was like so many miles ago. I don't remember where we were. Um,
I just recently played with my friends and 4 of us, and I don't know where my character is. I mean, the map the new map is pretty in-depth, but and this perfectly transitions into our next topic, the things that we're looking forward to in WoW. And this has happened to us every single time that we have played Monster Hunter is Corporal or I will get hopelessly lost.
oh my god.
Either the monster will move or one of us will cart and it will take like 10 minutes, especially in World. This is especially true in World.
Yeah. I mean, Rise was pretty
Especially
bad on certain maps, but it's the levels. It's maybe not the map, it was the depth of the elevation that I could never figure out how to get to the middle of the map when I'm up here or down here. And yes, being lost on the map is one of the biggest challenges. I think this game will solve that with the tracking system that they have. I no longer have to be Batman, the world's greatest detective, to search out scratch marks and pick up poop and footprints and scents in order to find where the monster is. I can just, hey, bird, take me there.
yes.
Chocobo, I need my chocobo to take me. Let's go.
That's exactly what Rusty just said. He's going to be able to play use bow while doing damage for the mana chocobo.
Oh, yes,
Um
yes.
and I agree. I think Rusty, I think you're right. I think game like Wild Hearts pushes the genre forward, even though RIP Wild Hearts. Wild Hearts was a good game.
I
Um,
I'm glad that you brought that up. It was one of the things that I was going to add to the show notes, but I didn't, and I forgot. So thank you. Wild Hearts, Presto, and I got pre-release codes for that game, and we got to test that game. We got to stream that game, and there were a lot of things about Wild Hearts that I thought they did really well on.
I think some of the fun things in Wild Hearts where you could build on the map may have inspired the pop-up camps in Wild
Interacting
because
with
you
the
can make
world
the pop-up
directly.
camps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh I'm very much looking forward to riding the sacrets around the map and being able to, "Oh, the monster's moving. Okay, I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna take a sip of my beer. I'm gonna check the chat. I'm gonna rearrange. I'm gonna be crafting ammo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be gathering stuff for ammo while I'm going."
Sharpening my blade.
Yeah. Well, not if we're using bowgun.
Yeah, but
Squads. In the most recent stream, they showed in the menuing that there was a section for squads, and that was alien to me because I play World on PC and there's no such thing as squads on PC. It uses Steam groups, which is terrible.
Mhm.
But I am hoping that there is a unified squad system in Wilds, because can you imagine? So the squads, the way it is works in World, from what I understand, is you can form a squad of up to, I think, like 16 or 20 players, and you basically can jump into anybody in your squad's lobby and just let it makes it easier to play. It's sort of like a clan system,
Yep.
and we're definitely making a Nintendads
Nintendads
squad.
clan. That's
Yeah,
fine.
and I think that's going to be amazing because there's so many people. Rusty said 16 people. We will fill that. We might have to make
So
a
fast.
couple. We might have to make Corporal Squad and Presto
Yeah.
Squad. Ooh, we can have competitions. We can turn this into a competitive thing. We
Oh.
can have Presto Squad, Corporal Squad. We can like team captain pick like we're playing dodgeball in the schoolyard.
Using Discord to figure out which
The hunter
players.
draft, yeah.
Yep.
But I'm very much looking forward to squads.
I get Marty.
No, we're not start. That wasn't an invitation for you to take a first pick.
I've already picked.
I get hero. Good luck. I think there's going to be some cool surprises. I'm hoping that there is going to be some, whether it's in the base game or if it comes out as DLC, I'm hoping there's going to be some form of switch skills in
Okay.
the game, the way there was with Wilds, or the way there was with Rise and
Rise.
Sunbreak, because you have your focus mode and you have your focus strike, and you could easily say, okay, now you have two options for a focus strike, or your focus mode now does something different. Like, I think that's cool. I think there's going to be mechanics that we don't know about that are added either at launch as a surprise or in the future in updates or DLC. And competition, there's an inspector mode. Yeah.
I imagine you
Also, yeah,
guys.
that's another good point. The hub, whatever the multiplayer hubs are going to look like, cuz right now we've only seen one on the first level, but I love the hub design. I love the different seasonal hub decorations. I hope we get the same like borderline live service support that we did in World with Wilds. And I
Yeah.
think we will.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
we
we
will
will. It's
too.
the same team.
Rusty says, imagine you guys are on the hub and there's a large screen broadcasting the gameplay for each team. Yes.
Yes. Yes. That would be, I don't know if there would be screens in Monster. But
Linux.
I mean, if we did that, it would be, because usually when we're streaming right now, I'm streaming to Facebook and TikTok, Corporal streaming to Twitch.
Yeah.
So there's your two screens right there.
I mean, yeah. Linux says, looking forward to new armor and weapon designs for future fashion and hunting. Fate Maker agree. Capcom
Yes.
Japan showed off arc veiled charge blade prop and at the con,
I
and it
saw
looks
that.
sick. Yes.
It looks a little bit like Ganondorf's sword
Oh,
from Smash Ultimate, with like the kind of like the spikes on the top of it. Oh, it's good.
some of the
It's
new
good stuff.
armor I am kind of excited about because I went through all of Rise, never once updating my armor, and continued to fight all the way up to master level without ever upgrading myself.
There's a part of my soul that hurts and twitches every time we
Oh,
talk about this. I'm gonna be on your ass. I'm gonna be
yeah.
the armor auditor for you.
I
Like
so
every couple of hunts, I'm gonna be like, Corporal, did you make new armor? Did
Madman
you put that
or
weapon on your wish list?
Linux goes, Madman, you say that as if like it was a challenge for me to not do this and I was trying to test my skill. No, no. I was
No.
so much of a dingbat that I didn't
Pure
realize that I had to.
pure
I
negligence.
it was
Cor
all idiocracy.
The thing is that me and Corporal both our first Monster Hunter was
Was
Rise, and
Rise.
our first encounter with Monster Hunter was the Rise demo. So
Yeah.
we both played and streamed a lot of the demo. And then the game came out, and I'm like, oh, that's the cycle. You hunt the monsters, you get the parts, you craft new gear, you hunt the monsters again. Corporal just said, you hunt the monsters, you take a shot, you hunt the monsters, you take a shot, you throw up, and you disappear from the stream.
How many
What do
times
you mean? What do you mean change my armor? Like change my clothes? I didn't get any on me
I
this time. I'm
well, like,
good.
because people were changing their clothes to make them look like other things, and I was like, "Oh, cool. I don't really care to look like a clown with Sephiroth hair. I'll just keep being my generic person and improving my skill." The one thing I did do was craft better weapons, but that was it.
Yeah, you would be doing like a normal amount of damage, and then you would get like the monster would like give you like a mean look, and you'd be like, cart. And I'm like, what? How do you keep getting killed? You need to heal. And you're like, I'm full health, I'm dead. There's no in between.
Yeah. I still remember the day on stream we were like, "Let's look at your stats," and the entire chat lost its mind.
Yeah, this is a dark day indeed. But we've learned, we've come so far as people and as hunters. What unannounced I kinda talked about this already, but do you have any predictions for what unannounced things are on
Do
the
I have
table for Wilds?
predictions? No. Do
Yes.
I have hopes? There is one and only hope.
I already know what it is. You don't even have to say it.
I'm gonna say it for the viewers at home.
Alright, let's say it on 3 to see if we say the same thing. Alright, ready?
One,
1, 2,
two,
3.
three. Bishatin.
Big 10.
I
God,
If I don't get a new Bishatin fight in this game, I will be upset.
I don't know.
Can
There's a
I
lot of
can I can
monsters.
I tell you
You could tell me.
what's his face? The dog, the hairy guy?
Zinogre?
Dog Shima
Doshiguma?
Doshiguma.
Yeah.
If you watch the character model and how he moves and
No.
his movement,
No.
do not tell me no. He does a wiggle. And when he does a wiggle, it is unnatural for his spine to twist and bend the way he does his attack. It reminds me so much of the Bishatin swerve.
It is unnatural the way you are moving your spine in your desperate stretch to try to tell me that Bishatin and that hairy ass meatball Doshiguma share a model.
I think
There's no
I think
chance.
that there's a chance. I think there's a
Dog
chance.
Mishima. Kazuya Mishima Doshiguma. Um,
Bishatin may be the jungle biome. See, Marty is a part of my soul. He understands what
I'm
I'm
not
looking
saying
for.
I don't want Bishatin. I'm just saying
Nah, no, you're against me here.
I'm just saying, if I could have my hopes for returning monsters, specifically from Rise, I would obviously love to have Magnamalo return. I am not counting on it.
It was a good fight.
He's maybe DLC because the flagship in World came into Rise much, much later into Sunbreak as DLC. So that could happen. But I would love if they brought back Goss Harag from Rise. He would fit right in to the ice biome. I would love Goss Harag. He's the big ice bear with like kind of the skull face, and he made the blades out of ice. Oh, so good.
Free Hugger says
So
I want Monkey from World to come back. Monkey was a good fight.
he's absolutely coming. He's absolutely coming. There's no I can't like what was the last game that Rajang wasn't in? He was in Rise, he was in World. Although he came into World in a title update if I'm not mistaken. He wasn't in base World. He might have even not even showed up until Iceborne. I don't know. I played World and Iceborne like all together
The
way after the fact.
monster that hunts you to make an even playing field. Yes, that
Yeah.
that would be
I
nice.
think we'll get Nargacuga. I think we'll get Tigrex.
You know what I'm
I think
excited for the most? The one monster that you talked about, the sleeping mechanic, he plays dead. I want to be surprised by animalistic character behaviors that are new.
Yeah. And I
I
think we're gonna get it because there's such a heavy focus on ecology and what the monsters are doing and why they're doing it. And like, if you hunt too many monsters, they're gonna move to a different area, or it's the good season or the bad season, which requires them to move to different parts of the map. I think we're gonna get more interactive surprises than we have in past
yeah,
titles.
yeah.
Let's talk about our plans for release. So,
My
release
plans is going to be using my new 3D printer to print me my own Bishatin
Bishopton.
model that will be like in my back shelf somewhere.
Please print me 3D print me like a gun lance or something.
Oh, I've thought about
That's
it.
all I
I've
want.
I've thought about
Although
that.
gun lance is like it's like you'd print the lance and the shield, but you could probably print some pretty sweet looking great swords.
Yeah. I've
That would be
I've got an STL for printing different parts to build the Master Sword. So I will find a gun lance of
you're
some
not going to have any money for a new graphics card because it's all going to be spent on
on
filament
filament.
for
Yep.
your printer. So, for release weekend, I took Friday off. So if it releases early on Thursday, I will stream Thursday night. I will try to rope you into it.
Oh,
Um,
gnarly tree. Print a weapon and give it out in a competition. That is a good idea.
that's a
That's
really
a
good idea.
great that's being written down. I like that.
Oh yeah. That's
It would be
I'm
fun to
yes.
compete for it. Yes. I think this is a great idea.
I'm adding that to our notes right now. Good suggestion. We
I
should we should figure out what weapons you can realistically print and do a competition, and the winner gets their main weapon printed and sent to them.
When he realizes that the gun lance is 9 to 12 feet long. Oh,
Oh, yeah, no, I'm talking I want a life-size gun lance. I
I
want a
will ship
functional gun
that.
lance.
I will ship that no problem.
I'll drive down I have a hatchback. I'll drive down and pick it up. Friday, the 28th, I am probably gonna be streaming during the day. I'm probably gonna publish an event on our Discord and Facebook tomorrow. Friday night, or Friday evening-ish, probably around 5 o'clock, we're gonna be streaming together.
Yep. We're gonna do
We are
our
gonna
co-stream.
have we'll probably have a private lobby just because a private lobby with the code so anybody can join. It'll be
Yeah,
an
so
open
viewers
lobby.
can join. Yeah.
But yeah, private lobbies hold up to 16 people, so I'd love to get a filled lobby at some point.
Nate Baker says he'll
Uh
be joining us for the Friday midday stream.
Hell yeah. Definitely I saw a bunch of you guys join the Discord. Thank you for that. That's where we're going to be organizing a lot of the hunts. So if you're not
We
on our Discord,
if
go
you've
to
been
it.
following us long enough, you may know that when take a shot. Yeah, I saw you go for the drink before I even said it. I've conditioned you.
I know that I've played these games before.
Monster Hunter is where most of our following comes from because we were very popular with the Monster Hunter community. Played particularly with Facebook. Uh, Played a lot of that game, so we are going to be leaning headfirst into a lot of Monster Hunter Wilds. Besides the fact that it's Preston's favorite game.
I work from home, and pretty much all day every day during normal work hours, I have Discord up on a second monitor with like my work communications. So you have to be on at pretty weird times for me not to be available
Yeah,
through our Discord.
so just stay active in our Discord community. We will talk and share a bunch of different hunt ideas, tips and tricks for different weapons and stuff. We're definitely
Rusty wants your STL files for your weapons when you get them for
okay.
your
I
3D
already
printing.
got Bishatin STL files, and I've got a shield STL file. So I will get more. Don't
There
I
we
am
go.
making a folder. We will have to make a channel in Discord just for 3D printing and
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
we'll have a
I
lot
will
of
watch your
information to
streams for
share.
sure. Yeah. So we'll stream. We're gonna do at least 2 Friday streams.
Yeah,
Saturday stream, I am very pleased to announce that we Saturday Corporal is gonna be busy. He's got some prior commitments that he
I've got
needs to
family
do.
events. I won't even be in town, but Presto will
But
carry the torch for us.
I am going to do a collab stream Saturday evening with the one and only TS Villa
Yes, Villa.
and the Villains. We'll be doing that Saturday evening. We're gonna have a bunch of collabs that we are lining up. We have a list. Fate Maker, I need to message you. You're next on my list for planning a collab stream because Twitch now has, I think they call it drop in, but basically it says you're streaming and it like combines your streams or it combines the chat or something. I did it with Peachy Pop and Supersonic for the Hunter Happy Hour a couple months ago. And it's a really cool feature and I want to do it with any hunters that are planning streaming wild. So if you're watching this and you're a streamer, get in our Discord or shoot me a DM and we will line some collab streams up
Yeah.
because the more the merrier. Crossplay really opens the door for a lot of different opportunities for us to hunt with everybody and then wiggle them.
I got a notification sound that somebody liked the stream or something, so that's why I was with. I just can't see
Also,
who it was.
all the people who have joined the Discord, I get the alerts and I can't mute Discord without also muting Corporal. So when this podcast episode gets uploaded, there's just going to be random Discord noises. And people who use Discord are going to be very aggravated at that fact because they're going to be thinking they're
So
getting Discord pings.
everybody who has doesn't know, we primarily share our podcast on anywhere that podcasts can be listened to online, but we're also going to be posting all of our podcasts on YouTube as well. My recording, the YouTube version, doesn't have Discord sounds, but does have Facebook sounds. So go figure.
Yeah, you pick your poison. Besides the initial launch weekend streams, I usually stream on Tuesdays and we usually do our co-streams on Thursdays or Fridays, probably usually Fridays. This is kind of the exception. Usually Fridays. And we are going to have a whole bunch of really cool videos and video series. We're going to be doing fridge reviews. If you haven't seen our fridge reviews, definitely go check those out. We basically review games by
Through our
opening the fridge
fridge.
and talking quickly before the fridge starts yelling at me, even though in my Chattacabra review of the monster, my fridge started yelling at me in the middle of the thing, and I like stopped the video and like made a thing of it. Anyway, we're gonna be doing like 60-second weapon guides with some guest creators, which we're excited to talk to through the fridge. I'm not sure how people are gonna feel about that, but that's what it's
Have
gonna
you
be.
ever woke up in the middle of the night, maybe hungover or just tired from a long day, shuffled your way to the fridge and opened it up and had some sort of sleepy conversation with your mustard? Just imagine that. That's what's going to happen.
That's I mean, I need to see you create that skit.
Oh,
Like,
I will.
I wanna create one where I've been playing so much Monster Hunter, I'm half awake, and I open my fridge, and I'm just like, "Ah! Offset attack! I gotta block! I gotta counter! Flash pod!" Yeah, we're gonna do a lot of partnerships with different hunters. It's gonna be a good time. But the side quest. It's time for the side quest.
Ooh, the side
What
quest question of the
My
day.
side quest for you, Corporal, is what are you going to be playing? And this is for everybody in chat as well. What are you going to be playing for the next week while you wait for Monster Hunter Wilds to come out? Are you going to be playing other Monster Hunter games to try and scratch that itch? Are you going to let your hunting vibes breathe out a little bit by playing something else?
Well, I've got my son uh this coming weekend, and therefore we'll probably play um uh Plants vs Zombie Warfare together. Um and we have been playing a lot of Mario Party as uh on the couch.
Jamboree.
Jamboree. So we'll probably be playing some Jamboree. And if I'm being honest with you, I still need to find some time for some more Dave the Diver. So
Yes.
Dave the Diver is
Oh,
worth it.
Rusty says that he's going to use the 3D miniature for the Monster Hunter board game. Rusty, I am
Oh,
insanely jealous that you have the Monster Hunter board game.
yes.
I
That's
am I am I want that so bad. But the reason I don't get I've had an opportunity to buy it, but I don't buy it because I have nobody that will play that with me.
I
Like I can get my wife to play some games with me, not that one. There's no shot.
yeah, there is a Monster Hunter board game. And I do a bunch of like D&D stuff, and I've got a bunch of D&D miniature STLs for my 3D printer. So making little board game figurines sounds like right up my alley.
When's our next session, Corporal? I'm waiting.
You and Yeti keep messaging me about it. I have to
I
plan it. I
I
have the plan. I just have to find time in my day.
EcclesiaCon is coming up. I was gonna wait to talk about this in a future episode because it's still a little ways away. But I will be at EcclesiaCon, which is if you live in South Jersey, just Google EcclesiaCon or DM me if you're anywhere near New Jersey. Check out EcclesiaCon. It's going to be a long weekend of board gaming. Shout out to DM Tales on YouTube. He's organizing it. He's the maestro and the host. I will probably do some sort of stream there because they are going to have a streaming station this year, which is super fun. So we'll have to connect with
I
some other
could
creators
host a
that'll be
D&D
there.
game remotely during CleeseCon.
We're gonna talk about this. We're
Okay.
gonna talk about this after the
Okay.
stream. Uh, I am gonna be playing. I think I am going to play the new. They just released a big new update for Hades 2, like yesterday, that
Oh,
added all new content.
80s.
And I have Hades 2 in early access. So I might be playing that. I was playing a little Windblown last week. They've added some things to Windblown since the last time I played it, which was very fun. And Corporal, you don't know this because I didn't intentionally withhold this information from you.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Sure.
but there is a new Mecha Break beta that starts in 4 days.
Neck Warrior Online Legends. I Gnarly Huggo just posted that they were playing that.
That is so weird that you just said that because then I just brought up a mech game.
Yeah. That's why.
Mecha Break has it. I mean, it's going to be on the 24th. I think for like a week or two. When that's live, that's probably all I will play until Wilds comes out. I might even stream that. You have a Wild shirt? Get out of
I
here.
want a picture of that in the Discord channel. That sounds cool.
Yes, Rusty, please send us the merch pictures. They just Monster Hunter just posted they're doing a collab with a clothing company where they're doing like an Arkveld wild sweatshirt and
Ooh.
like a bomber jacket and none of it goes on pre-sale until February 28th. And I'm going to try really hard to remember, but I will probably miss out and they're all going to sell out. But yeah, check the Monster Hunter social medias because I desperately want some of that merch. It looks really cool. I think that's it. I think that's the episode, folks. I am just now my urge to play Wilds is so much worse. And I knew this was going to happen by going and talking about the beta and talking about all the things. I can tell by Corporal's 1,000-meter stare that he is looking up the
I
clothing that I'm talking about right now.
yeah. Yeah.
So, thanks everybody for hanging out. This was a really fun episode.
It
I felt like we had
was.
a lot
It
of really
was.
good questions and comments about
Spring
Wilds.
is right around the corner, and it's going to be so exciting to be able to play Monster Hunter and all these different seasons. And when I just think about spring, I just wet my plants.
I knew it. I knew it was coming. I saw the bus careening towards me, and I couldn't get out of the way. That's good though. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna tell the wife that one because she's a plant lady
She is a plant
and
lady.
I'm
I'd
a
like
plant
to end our
daddy.
streams on some sort of corny dad joke that I can find.
Oh
So
man.
you're
Well,
welcome.
we're planting corn this year, so I'm gonna have plenty of corny things.
All my corn
Hell yeah,
jokes are
Rusty. You
rated
enjoyed this
X.
episode, you sport monster and a gun. Thank you, Rusty. Yeah. I saw that you joined the Discord during the stream, so you'll be in good company there. Welcome. All right. We will see you
Linux,
I
you're
guess
welcome.
the next stream will be my stream on Tuesday, on
Yeah.
next Tuesday, which let's see. Could it be? That will be the 25th, so we will very likely be playing Mecha Break.
Okay. All right.
Unless I end up playing Monster Hunter World. Anything can
I
happen.
mean,
It's gonna be 3 days before the game comes out, so I don't know. All right, everybody. Well, if we don't see you on Tuesday, I will see you on Discord for sure.
yes.
Uh, have a wonderful rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend. Happy hunting. Peace out.
Peace.